Hey, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about SLC Punk. So this was a first time watch for me, and let me tell you, this movie was pretty darn good. So even though this is the first time that I've actually watched the entire movie, I have seen quite a few clips from this movie before, and one of the most notable clips that I've seen from this movie is the sequence where Devin Sawa's character, he's selling acid to the mods, and basically like the cops are chasing him, and he runs through the sprinklers, and I guess like the acid somehow gets into his skin, and it's like 100 hits of acid, and he's just tripping like crazy, and it's snowing, and then Bob comes through to his house, and he's just outside on the front lawn. He thinks that there's like water everywhere, and I think he like tries to stab his mom. That whole sequence is super iconic, and I've seen that on YouTube countless times, and ever since I saw that clip, I was like, I have to see this movie one day. And it's just the type of thing where I just this movie has been on my radar, but I just never came across it. I mean, yeah, I could have just rented it, but it's like I've never seen the DVD out in the wild, never seen the Blu-ray, and it hasn't been on any streaming services that I have, so I just never got around to watching it. But came on Tubi, so I had to check it out right away, and like I said earlier, I thought it was really good. Yeah, like it was I would say it was mostly a drama, and I really liked the story, and a lot of it dealt with like change and growing up and stuff like that, and I really enjoyed it. With that being said, I kind of I should actually get into the story a little bit. So I'm going to give you all a quick little plot summary here. So the two main characters, you got Steve-O and Bob, and Bob is also called Heroin Bob, which is it's kind of like a joke name because he's scared of needles, and he is afraid of any drug besides, like, the only substances that he will do, like he'll drink and he'll smoke cigarettes, but he's completely terrified of any other drugs besides nicotine and alcohol, and he's deathly afraid of needles. So his it's like an ironic nickname, Heroin Bob. So you got Steve-O, who's played by Matthew Lillard, and Bob. I don't know what the actor who plays Bob's name is, but anyways, they're the two main guys. They're these young punks. They're living in Salt Lake City. They live in this kind of rundown apartment with graffiti all over the walls, and the plot of this movie is very loose. It's just they kind of go about their daily lives. I don't think they have jobs or anything. Steve-O is a college graduate, and he recently got accepted into Harvard Law School, but of course he doesn't want to pursue that because he's on this whole anarchist type thing, so he's not really with the whole Harvard thing. And then Bob is just he's seeing this woman who owns this smoke shop, and basically the movie is just them like going to people's houses, hanging out, going to parties, doing drugs, drinking. It's like I said, it's a really loose story, but the main idea is it's about like change and growing up, and Bob is very happy. He's totally in love. He's in this great relationship, but Steve-O is not happy. He's conflicted. All this anarchist stuff that he believes, he's starting to question his beliefs. He's starting to question the whole punk thing, and he's questioning, should he go to Harvard, should he not, is he becoming his dad, is he just like his dad? And you know, he has this casual relationship with this girl, and she's getting with this other guy. He gets mad, and then he's mad that he gets mad because that's like against his anarchist beliefs, like he's, you know, kind of being controlling and stuff like that. So yeah, the movie mainly focuses on Steve-O and Bob, but it really focuses on Steve-O, and it's just him kind of processing his thoughts, and you know, kind of processing all this, like what he really believes in, what he really wants, and you know what his future is going to be like. So I don't know if that was the best plot summary, but this, like I said, this movie's kind of got a loose story, so I hope I did it justice there. And I kind of already touched on this with the plot summary, but I wrote this in my notes, and I'm just gonna go over it a little bit more, talk about it a little bit more. So I like the whole concept of, you know, like, what are you gonna do with your life? Like the ending of phases, the end of an era, growing up, change. You know, I feel like everyone can relate to this movie because, you know, okay, what is the character supposed to be like? He's in his 20s. He's supposed to be like 22 or something. When you're in your 20s and when you're in your teens, a lot of stuff is changing, and you're turning into the person you're going to be. You got to figure out a career. You got to figure out college. If you're doing college, you got to, you know, figure out, you know, relationships, blah, blah, blah. So it's a lot of stuff to figure out. And even if you're not in your teens and 20s, there's just so much change in life. You know, you might have a change in career, change in relationship. Like, you had this really good period where you're dating someone cool and that didn't work out. You had this great job and now you're at this new job and you don't like the people. Like, change is a part of life. So I feel that all the time. I'm like you're like looking back to like a different era, and you're like, man, that stuff was like different, and you know, it's like everything, it's like over the past couple years everything changed, and you know, it's like, man, it's like you're like growing up a little bit. That sounds like kind of immature to say, but I mean, I feel like, you know, when you're in your, because I'm like in my mid-20s right now, and that's how I feel. Like, it's like, man, I gotta, like, it's like I'm starting to, it's like I'm like really growing up. Not really, I don't have like big responsibilities like that, but it's just like, it's like, oh snap, like, it's like, man, it's like, you look back like 5 years ago and it's like life was totally different. It's like I was like a crazy kid. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's why I relate to this movie, because it's like I was doing all this crazy stuff, and then I look at that now and it's like, how would I do that? But then if I looked at myself now, I'd be like, man, I'm like boring. Like, that's what he's talking about. He like at the end of the movie, he's like, if I looked back, like if my old self looked at me now, my old self would punch me. And I don't know, I felt like that was relatable. So I don't know, this movie like hit the spot right now. Me being in my 20s and stuff, like I said, there, you know, a lot of changes are happening. So I really like that. I thought the drama was great, the acting was good, and this movie was on point. It was just it worked for me. It clicked with me. So yeah, I was a big fan. So just jumping around here. I thought this movie had a pretty good cast. To give some shout outs and honorable mentions, you got Matthew Lillard, you got Devin Sawa, and then you got Jason Segel. I mean, you all probably know them, so it was cool for me to see some familiar faces. I thought Devin Sawa and Jason Segel were gonna be in the movie more, but they were just like small side characters. Devon Sawa was like really not in the movie, and he wasn't. I don't even think he was really like close with Steve-O and Bob. Like I don't know if they really messed with him. His character was like kind of made me sad. Like he was just like he's like like later in the movie he's like on the street begging, and they there's this sequence where it shows like him applying for a job interview, and he's just got like a shirt that says like "FU" on it, and he's just totally acting like a punk. And I don't know, that character kind of made me sad. But yeah, you got some familiar faces, some great actors. And jumping on to another random thing here, something that I really liked all the acid tripping scenes. I already mentioned the really iconic one with Devon Sawa's character, but there was another acid tripping sequence that was pretty cool where it was Matthew Lillard's character, Steve-O, was with his girl in the park, and the way they did the visuals and all the audio and stuff, and it really did like feel like he was tripping, because it was like a lot of stuff was like repetitive, and he was kind of freaking out and paranoid. So all the tripping scenes in this movie were really cool. And another thing that I really liked about is another thing that I really liked about, I can't think today. Another thing that I really liked about this movie was the friendship between Steve-O and Bob. They really cared about each other, and as the movie progressed, Steve-O started to care about Bob more and more, and like really appreciate him as a friend, because they're like best friends in the movie. They had been best friends for a while, and I think like the turning point is when Steve-O goes to Bob's dad's house, and he just realizes like Bob's dad is crazy, and Bob probably didn't have the best upbringing. And for the rest of the movie, like Steve-O really kind of looks out for Bob and wants, like, really tries to be a great friend, and he's taking care of him. Like they're at the party and Bob's freaking out, and Steve-O's carrying him out. So I thought the friendship between them was absolutely amazing, super great. So that was awesome. And I'm gonna get into some spoiler territory here. So if you have not seen the movie and you don't want it to be spoiled, definitely tune out at this point. But yeah, so towards the end of the movie, unfortunately, Bob passed away due to an accidental drug overdose. He had a headache, and so he's like, I need something for this headache, and someone gave him these pills, and it turned out to be narcotics. He passed away. I thought that was super duper sad. He was like just like a nice young kid. He had his whole future ahead of him, and it was just some BS accident. But something that I liked that came out of it, like just to highlight a positive from the negative. The scene when Steve-O finds Bob and he's passed away. Matthew Lillard's performance, his reaction, I feel like is really really good. Like he just breaks down. I got emotional. I was like, oh my goodness. It is like, could you imagine that? It's like your best friend, and he just they're like hanging out the night before, and everything's all good, and then it's just like it was messed up. But Matthew Lillard's performance, it was just a fantastic reaction. And then after that, the end of the movie, you you see Steve-O at Bob's funeral, and he's got his hair cut, and he's going to Harvard, and it's like mentioned earlier that he gets with that Brandy girl and they get married. So the whole, he's not really with that punk stuff anymore, and he's moving on. And it's I like the ending. It's I don't know, it's it's like kind of satisfying, you know. It's like uh I don't know, I kind of anticipated that he would go that route, and it's kind of cool to see him like grow as a character and grow up. And even though he's ending this era, this punk phase, he's like, you know what, I'm gonna do it from in the system. Like as a lawyer, I'm gonna really shake things up. So even like that girl Brandy saying, it's like it's not about just the clothes and the fashion. Like if you're really trying to be rebellious, that's like inside you. So I thought that was kind of a cool message. Not that I'm trying to be rebellious or anything. I'm trying to, you know, just like be a like a nice stand-up citizen, I guess. I don't know. But I really liked the ending. I really liked the message, and I really liked, you know, the character growth, where the character ended up, all the realizations he came to. So like I said, I thought this was a fantastic movie. I was a big fan, so if you have not seen it, I would definitely recommend it. And with that being said, I don't really have anything else to talk about, so I'm going to wrap things up. Thank you all very much for watching, and peace out.